Oh yeah,
right? So,
I mean,
so yeah,
the combination of what we're just trying to achieve for Philippine products, especially, is it's a big task. But to your point of everything that we're doing, whether the services that we both provide or just the mindset, that's what you'll get a lot of on the Chaching side of our podcast,
yeah,
talking about those different things because to continue the spirit of what we're trying to do with the podcast, it's there's a lot of problems that need to be solved, especially for Philippines, I think.
Where Chika meets Chaching. Chika2Chaching.
Through the years I've lived, there's always a talk about this and that, and I'm looking forward to having that opportunity to talk about all the mental challenges that suppliers have, the
mm,
views of people here in the U.S. about Philippine products and how they think of it. The Filipinos here. No, I'm not talking about the non-Filipinos. That's another discussion
that's
or
another
topic.
market, you guys. I
Yeah.
mean,
Yeah, right. So that's another thing that a lot of people don't realize, that a Philippine manufacturer, especially when you're thinking about products, you need to really determine which one do you want. Do you
mm,
want the Filipinos just who came over, or somebody who's been here, or do you want non-Filipinos? That's it's different layers that I never really get a chance to talk about because people don't want to understand that, or they just don't. And this is a platform to really also discuss that and solve that problem for some. So
correct.
our Chaching side can take on a lot of things as far as that. So you just got to hang in there, but
Absolutely.
we'll try to actually be on point. But at the end of the day, you're going to get that from us because we have so much, and we're just sort of hopefully not just info dumping on everybody, but at the end of the day, we will try to organize it so you'll get something out of it.
You nailed it. You nailed it. The cha-ching part of it, obviously, it goes around the subject of money, but it's not all about that part of it. It's really about a process as well that leads you to the money. You know, a type of conversation. Um, so I'm glad you touched on that. And it could be a processes, it could be a quality issue, it could be an export, clearing customs. There's a lot of cha-ching subject later on that obviously, like I said, we want to record our journey. So if you're looking to start, like that quote that I read this morning, that all of the wonderful things that you want in your life are on the other side of fear. If you're on that you know stage of your life, kind of like you need to take a leap, and at least you can see it between two guys
Okay,
of
so if you want two guys to push you off the cliff to take that first step, we could do that. Or
yeah,
if you want to use that analogy, or
yeah,
we
I
could do
like
that.
that.
The guy with the bungee jumping vendor, and then we'll hold on to you, make sure it's all tight, but we'll take you there. Or you just want us to open maybe the door. Okay, open the door. Say go ahead, and you'll be fine. You
You'll
know,
be fine.
Arnel will
But
be on
Bong
the
will
other side of the
will
door.
push you. I'll videotape it so we have proof that you
Exactly.
did you did the leap.
Yeah, you could be on the other side of the door waiting for him, and I'm opening the door for him. It doesn't matter however you want to see that, because I do agree with what you said. The biggest fears that we all have, those are probably the only thing that's holding you back. And
Yeah.
and for me, one thing that hopefully the people that are going to help us with this podcast, the people that work with you, are now they'll pick up on this and say, like, for example, you just gave an idea about how, like I said, how maybe if it's live, they can go ahead and give us a call. We can give them immediate answer.
Hmm.
It will flash the email address or the text, whatever. And then if you're listening and you don't want to get on live, just call a number. Somebody will pick it up or something,
Yeah.
and
Or
then they'll
email.
answer the question. They'll
Yeah.
email, whatever.
Email. Yeah. Whatever.
That's
Whatever. Hmm.
yeah. The point is that there's so much information. We just want to be sort of like that entity, or that part, a component where we sort of humanize it, as opposed to just go ahead, because that's one thing I don't like. I don't know who I'm talking to. and it's tough to get information sometimes, and I like to know that I like to think that you will get us, or you will get somebody that has the same personality as us. It's funny. I'm going to go random here again, but we should have some sort of bell. Okay, this way they'll know that. Okay, I press the bell, ding. Oh, okay, it's random time. But the
You know,
random,
those are awesome ideas,
yeah,
right?
right.
Totally.
So-
So
so-
as I travel, I pick one up. Or if you see one, better yet, get one of those old ice cream one. You know what I mean? That
Yeah,
ding, 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 ding,
exactly.
ding.
That's what we'll do. So we'll warn people that this is random. Anyway, so my point with that is that I read somewhere, and again, my memory is not what it used to be. So, but it was about people a certain generation having to go to either class or some sort of seminar about how to converse people over the phone, because everybody seems to be about text. And I think this had something about jobs, the article that I was looking at, because some people looking for jobs, a certain generation will maybe just are good with texting or emailing, but
Yeah.
there's comes a point where you actually need to reach out and talk to people. And I couldn't believe that they were having a discussion, or the article was about how to use the phone or how to talk to people, and I thought that was strange. But anyway, I'm just trying to
Yeah.
relate it to us, that some people may want to just text us, but if you want to talk to us in that regards, please feel free to go ahead and do that too.
No, no, definitely. If you don't want your concern content, right, to be out there, and you just need to talk to somebody privately, yeah, absolutely, we're here to you know help out. And we because for me, I'm a student for life, right? So one of my mentor was always preaching about being teachable. And I didn't know what that means. I'm like, what is a teachable means? Basically just be a student, right? So that's kind of where I am.
Hmm.
There's still a lot to learn, and whatever your education level is, if you graduated or not graduated from high school, you did your degree in you know whatever degree you pursued in your life. And I'm sure a lot of us are not doing that, meaning not the degree part, but what we use us to graduate with, and we end up doing something else with our lives.
Yep.
um, right, so it doesn't matter. So we're here to do a lot of things with this channel. I'm
Yeah.
looking at our topics, so we just because Bong and I could be here all day.
Yeah. No, this
Let me look.
the topic that we had in mind, we did cover it, just so that we
Wonderful.
did. We talked about the Chica part, and then the logo, and then also the problem that I'd like to touch on, which we did already. But going back to really quick, back to the logo. So anybody out there who is looking for a logo, I mean, having their own business, trying to do the logo, we're at that point too, obviously, because the dynamics of when you have a partner with a new project, obviously you want their perspective and your own
Yeah.
perspective, because that's the one thing that I've always been appreciative of, is when you work with people that share the same vision. So it shouldn't be difficult with the logo, but you're always going to have some idea of what looks good and what doesn't look good. So you just got to keep an open mind on each other's perspective when you're doing a logo.
That's
So
right.
for us, Arnell, I mean, I think the logo is always about is always transforming. I mean, we'll pick up something, but at the end of the day, if all we have is just the text that says Chika or C2C or whatever, but at the end of the day, you could just have two dudes talking as a logo silhouette. I'm a big fan of silhouette. Uh, you
Okay.
know, whatever, talking to each other. And maybe it could be a place, right? Doing the
Mhm.
logo, it could be a place where people do talk. It could
Yeah,
be a
I mean,
table.
yeah,
I don't know.
in the beginning stage, to your point, it's just gonna evolve. Like
Yeah.
it's really just to identify our channel and what we're doing. Obviously, it's gonna become a branding in itself. But yeah, we're on the very early stage, so this is kind of like I said, this is part of our journey. And we have in-house designer on our team
Mhm.
that I just gave them that, the concept. And and we'll, and hopefully they'll get to post this, post those ideas out there. uh, Again, it's just, it's a business card, right? So if you're starting a business, what are you all about? If you are already in business, who is your demographics? Like Bong and I, we talked about that in the days. I couldn't really say weeks, because I mean we're fast. We just kind of, the idea hit us, and all of a sudden we're on, and we couldn't get off some of these conversation for an hour and a half. So we kind of like, let's just execute, right? And
Mhm.
so
That's
if
that's
you're,
that's
yeah,
that's another thing that I think that a lot of people should do. Um, I really believe in the whole thought process of you execute, but obviously, when you execute, you're always thinking about either cost, time, and things of that nature. I feel like in the end, you just need to um, mitigate that or balance it, but you need to take a step. So to me, for us doing this, I'm glad. I'll be honest with you. When we first started, I go, I was trying to set up the schedule for myself, and I go, Arnel wanted to do it right away, and I'm very methodical at certain times, but I'm also the kind of person that if I find that this particular format is something I've never done, and you have someone who's very passionate, I never kill that passion that the other
yeah,
person is experiencing, because that could be a brand new idea that I may not have thought about. So that's
mm,
why when you're collaborating with people, I find that you don't do that. You just encourage it. If you think it's at least over 50% aligned to what you're doing, at least that. And I'm not saying that that's what happened with you and my alignment with you is like 80, 90. But even if it's 50, then you listen to it and go with it,
yeah.
because you'll never know. And then you don't want to feel like, oh, I never, that could have actually been good.
No, absolutely. It's like we have a lot of projects, even with our clients, that are, looking to make a pivot, right? Make a change in their business profile. And we do the same thing all the time. Obviously, you got to make those pivot, right? Change direction to survive in any businesses. And you nailed it, right? You just kind of observe and look at that. And also your time. I'm very busy, so I have a company to run, and clients to take care of, and I'm sure you have it too. So I'm just looking at my calendar where we can squeeze things in.
Hmm.
Uh, and later on, I'm gonna share some of the techniques that I use, because I'm managing a group. Sometimes there's 60 of us, up to 70. At one point, there was like 180 of us in a
Hmm.
project. And how do you manage that chaos, right? And organize that. And that's something I really would like to share, that was effective in what I do. And then I have solopreneurs that is just a one-on-one CEO that I'm working with, and just kind of hand holding that process.
Hmm.
So that's another experience part of it, that, that we're going to be sharing, for that process.
So if we didn't emphasize it enough, you're gonna get a little bit of everything. But we are fully cognizant of the fact that you may not need everything.
Yep.
So it's more like we're just trying to again put that the personal touch to everything that we're saying and giving you a perspective. But if you need, just like what we were, our topic for today was, like I said, the chica, the gossiping or talking, to where what's dear to our heart is increasing Philippine product sales through export. Now, if you had to go through all that gyration to just hear that part of what we're trying to do, then thank you for hanging in there. But at the end, what we were always trying to figure out through the careers or the business history of Arnel and myself, and again with me, I've been doing this since 2013, and I know Arnel's been doing it longer than me. And always the idea of increasing Philippine product sales through exports has always been top of mind with us. And however way we can do that, because in the end, it's just my own personal opinion. I think Philippines is one of those countries that needs, and I emphasize the word needs, and in all caps, right? If it's texting, NEEDS, needs to export products to elevate the economy. You don't have a choice. So whether you do it through U.S. or through the certain, economic or exporting global market situation going on, you still need to. You can't deny that. That's my thing. That's my thought.
No, you're you're absolutely right. That's why we developed VendorMatch.pro, and that's all made by Filipinos, by the way, including the IT. I call them our IT blaster team. She's had that stand that sells halo halo. So if you ever get to see this, say hi, and thank you for the experience. So we ordered halo halo, and she sells burgers like Filipino Italian sandwiches and stuff like that. But it's mainly Filipino theme. Wonderful service with her Italian husband, and one of the Chika that we talked about was supply. Right? I mean, she's an entrepreneur, and that's one thing that Bong and I talked about. I said, how do we support those entrepreneurs that are in other countries with the Filipino roots, and they want to serve the local Filipino community there?
Where Chika meets Chaching. Chika2Chaching.